Okay, boys, last week we gave you the mold investigation pre-pack, and you can see that there's nothing on any of these breads. We started off with the brown bread, the white bread, and the pita bread, the flat bread, and it had no yeast on it. This is our first lot, and these are the ones that were in the fridge. When you can just see that there's a little tiny bit of mold on a few of them, but not much. You can't see, you'll have to search really hard to find that. And they were in the fridge. So what does that tell you about keeping things in the fridge, especially bread? Now this is the one where we had in the cupboard. Now you can just see on this brown bread, there's a slight bit of mold here. There's a little tiny bit of wet mold there, and that one is the rye bread that was dry sitting in the cupboard. Okay, now we come across to this one. This is the white bread sitting in the cupboard. You can see a massive piece of mold, but you can see that also there's another, that's a yellow shading, and then a sort of a damp moisture, like the sun. It looks like the sun there with its rays around the outside. This one here we have, and this is one we have, is the white bread that's dry. There is a wet patch there. That's the a little bit of mold starting there. I think that's the wet patch that's in the cupboard with the dry. So what are the three things that mold need? Think about those things. Why do some have mold on it and others don't? Now look at this. This is the dry pita bread, and it was, this is the wet one that was in the cupboard. Look at that mold. There's blue, there's some white sort of furry things. Here's some green. And then this one here has gone nuts. This is the flatbread, no yeast. And you can see that there are larger patches. Here's a yellow patch over here, some purple patches. And of course, they would be the different types of mold. There could be up to 10, 15 different types of mold on that piece of bread. Now, these are our ones that were in the sunlight. We had them outside. There might be a couple of bit of pecking marks on the outside because the crows tried to grab them, but we had to save them a few times. So this is the rye bread in the wet. You can definitely see the mold on that particular one, and that was the wet. But look at this one here. This is the white bread. We've got blue, we've got yellow, we've got such a large area of mold there. And across to our rye bread, blue, black, white, furry. It might be an interesting one if you can work out by looking up what's that white furry mold that we have, and little brown and black and green. And over here we've got like another mold starting. That's the wet lot. And now we go to the dry, a little bit different. There's sort of a wet patch on this one. Nothing visible here, but there are slightly bits of furry ones there. But this is the flatbread with no yeast, dry. It still had some mold as well. All right, boys, so what we'd like you to do is actually draw on top of this week 1. What do you think the mold looks like on your bread? So you can actually redraw those from week 1. So we gave you this last week. Now you have to transfer. What does it look like this week?